Hey, 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 good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to come to you all really quickly while I was on break and just have a moment, talk about what's going on. I know a lot of people may be looking at what's going on at the Capitol and saying, oh, it's not really that, it's not this, it's not, this is not really going to make a difference. But I guarantee you, if you look at this, if you picture this, if you take a moment and understand where this is at, like what's going on, yeah, yeah, real talk, real talk. There's a lot that's happening right now, and we need to really, really, really make sure that we are. Um, I don't even know what to say, y'all. I came on thinking I was gonna say a whole lot, and I was going to talk about everything that's going on. I was going to talk about um, just us being, right? Just us being. And I think sometimes we don't necessarily um, understand what that means. I'm sitting here now and I'm watching this and I'm watching it unfold. And the president just came on and said that basically um, we were I know you're hurt, I know you're upset, they stole the election, they did this, they did that. And it wasn't a point of, let's calm down and let's make sure that we're not doing something, you know um, that's going to harm, that's going to hurt, that's going to make us feel some kind of way. It wasn't that. What it was is that I know what's going on. They stole the election. It was a landslide victory. But y'all go home. But the damage has already been done. And so sometimes we have to really understand where we're at, right? This is the new normal. This is our normal. There is no more to say about it because it's our normal. It is what it is. This is what's going to happen. He's going to challenge everything that we hold sacred, that we love about a democracy, that we love about politics or whatever your thing may be. He's going to hold that. Whatever your faith may be, he's going to hold that. It's either going to be in a good sense or it's going to be in a sad sense, you know what I'm saying, or a bad sense. And I think sometimes we don't have the knowledge or the understanding that this is what it is. Exactly, Eric. So you said, where's the rubber bullets and the tear gas this time? Where are they? Where are they? They're non-existent because this is what's interesting. I was just saying to someone online, they don't really care about us. And I'm gonna put it out there because remember just months ago, people were out protesting, quote unquote, right? A mob, looting, doing all this stuff. This is ridiculous. This doesn't make sense. Say, I disapprove of the violence. Perot can protest peacefully. Unfortunately, Trump is responsible for the chaos on this world, and it disgusts me how human beings act when it comes to Trump. Exactly. It all of a sudden, it seems as if there can be no wrong, Chatter. And I'm not saying that your beliefs are not your beliefs, not you, but in a general sense, your beliefs are not your beliefs. But when we look at stuff like this, and it's one-sided, really, because how did they get into the Capitol? How did they get into the Capitol? You had people running and ducking and dodging. You had people being escorted out, people bunkering down. How did they get into the Capitol? If that would have been some of us, if we would have been protesting something other than, right, other than this voter count that they're ruling on, we would have got to the gate and the military and everybody would have been there and you'd have been on lockdown. It wouldn't have been no questions asked. It wouldn't have been who you are, what you stand for. They would have unleashed like they did before. Remember when we were silently protesting against police brutality, against um, how our black bodies were being treated in the streets, we got rubber bullets, we got tear gas, we got curfews. They got all the way into the Capitol. And you can say what you want to say, ladies and gentlemen, and you can feel how you want to feel, but there's no way they got into that Capitol without help. There's no way you're going to tell me on a day like this, when they have been warning you, you decide to have nobody. You decide to scale back on your police officers, because of COVID. But remember when we were protesting in the streets, when we were sitting up here protesting about George Floyd, they were in the streets with us. They were in the streets with COVID, popping us with rubber bullets, throwing tear gas, making us get off the street. We couldn't even stand on our porches. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this to you all. As 2020 comes in, I want you to be aware. And I'm not saying that you are not woke because you don't recognize it, you don't see it. But if you cannot see the disparities, if you cannot see the uneven balance of what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Like you have got to understand where this is coming from. And then for the president to get on TV and make a speech about, he didn't even say what this was. He went all the way around it. And Chatter says, what is also shamed is that people are posting on Facebook that they are proud of what's going on. If it would have been black people, they would have been locked up, right? You're so right. You're right. I mean, I don't always like to always say, oh, it's black, it's black, it's black. But look, reality is reality, ladies and gentlemen. All I'm saying is, if this was right, then it would never have been wrong. You feel what I'm saying? My grandmother used to always say, but you don't have to explain right, but you got to always explain wrong. You don't have to explain right, because if you're right, you're right. And it's going to come across as such, and it's going to be what it is. But if you are wrong, and you know you're wrong, then you'll get on TV like he just did and talk about, I know you all are hurt. I know it's our democracy. They know that, that we counted the votes, and the votes we won by a landslide, and the other side knows this. I'm just saying, y'all go home. Really? But then you want to criticize President Obama back in the day for him not shutting down, or him not doing this, or him not doing that. Then you want to criticize our president-to-be, Biden, because Biden got on and said, hey, I don't care what's going on right now. This is not right. You need to stop this. But that's not what you want. That's not what you want. Chatter says, I'm sorry it upset me to see what's going on because of a lunatic who don't want to accept the outcome. And here's the thing. A lot of people are saying that they've never seen anything like this before. This has never happened before, right? And I'm telling you, the thing that we have to really understand is that, every loophole, everything. And then that's the point. If this is for the American people, why don't you care about the American people? We are part of America. And I always go back to this. If you really listen to Michael Jackson's song, right? They don't really care about us. He tells you that whip me, beat me, fire hoses, dogs. He said you can state that I'm half of a human. All of these things. This is not nothing new. This is nothing new. But this is the new normal, though. This is the new normal. So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you are my DC friends and people that are on, y'all be careful out there. Make sure that you're careful, because I'm only feeling that it's going to take a moment. And they said they just heard shots, and then it was smoke. And now, here come the guards now. How long has this been going on? Here come the guards now. Come on, y'all. Come on. We got to do better. We got to do better. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to be on long, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to come on and just talk for a moment and just, say, whatever you're going through right now, whatever you're doing, however you're doing it, I want you to just take a moment and think about your safety. Think about you. Check in with your people. Now is not a time for us to let people go by the wayside, as my grandmother would say, 3-4 months at a time. Now it's time for you to check in on your people. Make sure that your people are good, because so many of our people are being lost in the sauce. So many people are being lost in COVID-19. So many people are being lost in so much what's going on. I ask that you check on your people. Make sure your people are good, right? Make sure your people are there. Check on your people, make sure they're good and doing what needs to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time. It's not a time for us to be sitting here saying, no, that's not what we're going to do. You know, that's not what's going to happen. This needs to happen. Kat says this ride has been the best lesson to help those in denial of what white privilege looks like in real time. Exactly, because a lot of people will tell me, "Oh, well, Titan, I'm gonna speak to that real quick, Kat, because someone told me, well, Titan, I used to watch your show all the time, but you're always talking about Black Lives Matter and you're always talking about Black lives and business and this." And so I told them, no disrespect to you, but I'm Black. I'm blackity black, black, black. When I walk down the street, the first thing you see is Black. Well, you might see the hair, but you see Black, right? And you can't come and tell me how to be on my platform because I live the life of a Black person. I live the life. I've been there. I've been called the N word. I've been told that I was less than nothing. I've been accosted, right? In stores, you know, I've been charged up. So when it comes to this, you can't tell me how to feel. Now, I don't think every Caucasian person or white person, if you want to say it that way, is bad. Just like I don't think every Black person is bad, right? You have yours that are out there. But when systematically there has been a WP, right? Since I was born to this earth and I'm in my 40s, how can we not say that something is wrong? Breonna Taylor, right? George Floyd. We can go so far back as the Emmett Till. We can go all the way back to the hangings and the lynchings that they sold tickets to. We can go all the way back to the video that's circling every so many years. It circles about the Black family that moved into the all-white neighborhood and how the children treated the Black children in that neighborhood. We can go back to the young girls who were bused to a new school and how they did not want those little kids. They were kids in the school. Grown men and women were spitting and hitting them and treating them like trash. And you want to tell me that there's no problem? You want to tell me that you have projects and everything and there's nothing? And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell y'all something that I have found that was crazy. I went around my neighborhood. I live in the hood. No qualms. I live in the hood. Do you know everybody in the hood that owns a store or some type of business is not Black? How is it that everybody of every other nationality can come into our hood and own everything and we don't own nothing? Nothing. I didn't know there was a problem until a white friend, Caucasian friend of mine, called another man who was Black the N Black ASS. And I looked at her and she looked at me and she said, Titan, that's not you though. You're not like him. What, I'm not Black? My own Black brothers and sisters who have failed for the hype have said things like, oh, why are you talking white? Why are you acting like you're white? Why, if I would say a certain word a certain way, oh, well, why are you saying it like that? Look at he over there acting white. What does that mean? Ladies and gentlemen, we got to be careful with what we do. We got to be careful and we got to understand where we're at and what's happening. So I just wanted to come on because I was watching this unfold and I was saying to myself, there's no way. And I had held out just a little bit of hope that this man would have got on TV and or on this podium and he would have said something that could have calmed everything down, right? Could have calmed everything down. These people are walking through here and don't care where they at. Don't care. Push their way through. They all up in the White House, taking pictures, sitting in the seat. taking pictures. What? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this to you all. Do know where you're at. Next time you're out and you're voting, next time you want to know whether or not your vote counts, next time think about this stuff that's happening. Next time you want to know whether or not, and I don't care what you're saying, who you're going to vote for and what you're going to do, but do understand where you're at. Because that American people is not our American people. That American people that they're showing that storming it, that's not us. That's not us. But yet and still, we'll be the first ones that they take out. Peacefully protesting. Peacefully protesting. And you can say, oh, well, nothing has really happened here. But did you see how they acted when the representative was going to vote against him? They showed up to the actual courthouse, as my grandma would say, the courthouse. They showed up to the courthouse, guns drawn. When they had the conflict, he said both sides had issues and problems, but both sides didn't show up to cause ruckus, to cause a riot. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make sure. Exactly. I'm telling you, ladies, we got to be careful. We got to be careful. So, ladies and gentlemen, teach your children, teach your family members, talk to the people that are around you. Make sure that they understand and they know. Exactly, Tana. Done. Done. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not angry or upset at anybody that feels that something is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is not right or whatever have you. I'm talking about as a whole. I don't think violence is the answer in that aspect. However, when you look at stuff like this, when you see stuff like this, and then you want to talk about the protesters that we had, so they were wrong, but these people are not wrong. Our protesters gathered up just like they're doing. And before they could even do anything, the riot police were there, shooting, warning you, cutting you off, making sure you couldn't go nowhere. They went all the way up into the Capitol. And I'm not talking about on a tour Capitol. I'm talking they went up in the Capitol. How is it that nobody was there to protect the Capitol on this day in particular? Yeah. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get off of here. I just wanted to come on and talk for just a moment. And just to say to you all, be careful out there. Understand where you're at. I'm not saying for you to run scared. I'm not saying for you to bow down and not speak your mind and not do anything. What I am saying is to be careful, be cautious about what's going on, because you can see now everything is one-sided. Nobody is doing anything for anybody, especially those of us of color. And so what I want you to do is to be careful. Don't be mistaken. Don't be mistaken. You can be black and you're proud all day long, every day, but don't be mistaken that something like them rushing the White House can happen in real time, broad daylight, and nothing happens to them. Nothing happens. I wonder how many casualties are they going to have? How many police dogs they bring out, right? How many people armed in tactical gear that they bring up? And y'all, we want to say that there's not a problem. We want to stand behind somebody who incites violence and says that you to get them, stop them by any means necessary. That's what we're doing. But then this is what gets me. I can't retaliate, right? Because I could be dead. I can't fight back, even in the streets, because I could be dead. Because of stand your ground. They attacked me, but when I started fighting back, they stood their ground. And so therefore, I'm dead. And they're released to go home with their family. Remember, right? And I'm not saying remember again. I'm not saying remember to run. I'm not saying again, remember, unless you have to. I'm not going to tell you don't run, because I'm going to tell you what my grandmother used to always say: you got to know your battles. You got to know what battle you fight today and what battle you fight 3 weeks from now. Because some battles are not meant to be fought today because you might not get up from the battle. And I hear that. But don't be mistaken that this is just what it is. This is the beginning. They're showing you. Watch what happens. You know, we only have about a week or so. We don't have that long before the ceremony happens. And I say a week because we're already in week 1. So literally next week, right, be week 2, and we're going into it. Next week, Friday is what, the 14th, I think? So we're already there. Be careful. Be careful. Let your children know, right? Let your people know to watch what's happening and be careful. Yes, yes, Aunt Sandy, it is just the beginning. I'm telling y'all, this has been on the books. And if any of y'all know anything about money, y'all know what I'm talking about on the books. This has been on the books for a minute. They've been waiting for this moment. And why do you think it's happening now? Because I'm telling you this, and I'm going to say this, and some of you may not agree. Some of you may agree. Some of you may think I may be off all the way. They finally got an upper hand. The score is finally 5-4. They close. They close. Now they just got to tip the scale. And once they tip the scale, I'm telling you, I ain't no prophet, but I'm about to prophesize. Once they tip the scale, and they are close, because you can't tell me they're not close because they're scrambling for chips. They're scrambling for scraps. You know, have you ever had a dog walk by? Nothing against dogs, ladies and gentlemen, but you ever had a dog walk behind you, or a dog be sitting in the living room or somewhere close to where your table is, and you drop something off the table by accident? That dog will come over there and get those scraps. Then that dog say, okay, you know what? I see what happens when I do this, so I'm going to go wait. They're going to drop something else. That's the mentality. Oh, I got them on the ropes. Yeah. Watch this. Watch what happens when I say this. I'm going to go on national television and tell them to go shut it down. Y'all support me? Y'all go shut it down. They're not going to stop you. And then I'm going to wait a couple of hours after you've done it. Then I'm going to come on the news. And then I'm going to say, everybody's heard. You know, there was an election. The election was fixed. They know we won by a landslide. They know da-da-da-da-da. Y'all, I'm hurt. I know you're hurt and things like that. And they're going to do it right. And, you know, once you have done whatever it is that you're going to do, go home. But what? He didn't say anything about, okay, let's keep the peace. This is America. We don't do that in America. I'm talking my language. We don't do that in America. Then after he does this, how many hours later, now here comes the National Guard, and here come the people. Y'all remember when we protested during the summer or closer? We protested George Floyd. How fast did they get out there? How fast did they get out there? When we protested Breonna Taylor, how fast did they get out there? When we protested Tamir Rice, when we protested Brown, when we protested Trayvon Martin, how fast did they get out there? How fast? Exactly, Tanner. I'm telling you, I watched the actual broadcast. He got on there and basically he did not start with we are Americans and let's not do this. Let's not do this. He started with they know. They know. But here's my thing, ladies and gentlemen. How do you know? How do you know? Today is the day. They stormed. So, and listen to these interviews that they're doing with these people. These people think that we have literally done something to the American democracy. Didn't they get out there real fast? Eugene, like, go back and look at all those names I just mentioned. Sandra Bland, when we protested for her, how quick were they out there? If you really want to go and look, anytime something has happened and we have took to the streets because it's our right to protest peacefully, they have met us with chaos and turmoil every single time. Now, today, what happens? And don't get me wrong, watch this though. Watch this. Now here comes the Olivia Pope of the medias, right? Nothing against Olivia Pope. I love scandal. But this is they finna spin it. They finna talk about it. They didn't call them thugs. They didn't call them they didn't call them terrorists. They didn't call them any of that. But let that have been us. Well, I appreciate you protesting, but I don't believe that we should be doing this. No, no. But you believe they got a right to go in? You believe they got a right to go all the way into the White House, all the way into the Capitol? They blocked the cars. You know how people go. So they had a bird's eye view of the cars that they were using. Like, you drive in and you drive, it's covered and stuff like that. But on the side, they were on top of the vehicles of the people so the people couldn't leave. They surrounded the vehicle, they surrounded all the exits. Come on. Exactly. And look how history is repeating itself. The only difference now is that really and truly, you cannot get away with it without it being seen. Let me say that. Without it being seen, because we got so many cameras and people are all around. But it doesn't even matter now. If you see it, they're gonna get a little tap on the hand, and you go sit in your corner until you think you know better. And then when you think you know better, you come on out. No jail time, no nothing for you. You get to go back home to your family. But this black body is dead, ain't going nowhere. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get out of here. I think you have the right to believe in whatever you want to believe in. I think you have the right to protest however you need to protest. But I think when you get bodies in the midst, when you are hurting people, when you are killing people, when you are doing wrong by people, I think that's where I draw the line. Like I don't have time for that, because you can't hate me because I like this or I stand for this, right? You don't even know me. But you got a right, just because of my skin color, to lay me down because you believe historically and systematically that I don't deserve to live. And I don't care what nobody says. Sometimes people say, oh, we're Titan. That's not right. No, it's inbred in your DNA. There is a systemic thought process that's locked in our brains. And this is all the way across the board. Think about it. Locked in our brains that black people don't deserve to live. Have a conversation with somebody. I know, but you did this, or why are you so angry? Why are you so upset? We're savages. We raise our voice all of a sudden. Oh my God, you're clutching your pearls and then you're calling for the police. For what? When you were just sitting up here arguing and fussing and fighting in somebody's face over here. Somewhere down the line, it was embedded in our DNA that it's okay for you to accost me because I'm a black man going into my own building to go home, and then I wind up dead because you were afraid of who I was. These people didn't deserve to die. And today they showing you. Now I guarantee you they sitting back right now. Exactly, Tanner. Exactly. They being slapped on the hand while black people are being jailed and killed. There's this documentary called 13th. It's about the 13th Amendment. I don't know if any of you ever watched it, but if you have watched, I think you should go back and watch it again. It's by Ava DuVernay, right? And she talks about the 13th Amendment, and she talks about how they freed slaves, right? But literally, the slave catchers, the slave owners, the slave watchers, those that were used to corral the slaves became police. Now, I'm not saying nothing against the police because I have policemen in my family and I love them dearly. But what I'm saying is take a look at 13. How is it that we are not the majority, but in prison, we're the majority? How is it that we are not? Prisons are billion-dollar businesses. They cultivate land, they make materials, they work for less than pennies. They do all of this stuff. And how can you go to jail for a misdemeanor, something that you've never done? And it's been like that because we are still slaves in their mind. We don't deserve to sit at the table. I had a cousin of mine, and my cousin stated to me, I don't do that kind of stuff because I know I am this and I am that. And I said, my grandmother used to always tell me all the time. My grandmother was born in the 30s. My grandmother used to say to me all the time, you gonna know, and I'm gonna say it exactly the way she said it. I'm not gonna miss any words. She said, you gonna know what it is when the white man put his foot in your back. Me being a young lad, foot in my back. Grandma, this is not slavery. Until I understood that it was systemic, till I understood that it was bred in our very DNA. No matter how much I fought, right? Which I didn't stop to fight. Let's be clear. But no matter how much I fought, every turn they showed me how systematically they were keeping us locked up. Systematically, they were doing that. You don't believe that we deserve to be humans, but we are like cattle. We are like cattle. Let's be honest. We produce, and as long as we keep the cattle in cages, locked up, and we use them until we can't use them no more. And then now, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know if y'all even see this. The people are out here gathering up all of their things and trying to light it on fire on the Capitol lawn. And ain't nobody did nothing. The guards are just standing by watching. But wasn't it the same thing just a couple of months ago? Wasn't it the same exact thing? You know what? Chatter says that's what we need to question is how quickly they're allowed to get in the Capitol with no one stopping them. And I said that at the very beginning, Chatter. I said, because think about it. You mean to tell me today, of all days, they were able to get all the way into the Capitol? Today. The same day that they are going to vote on the election numbers and whether they should be recounted or whether they should use those or throw these out or whatever have you. Today, they were allowed. Yes, Tana, it is a great documentary. I suggest anybody who's never seen it to watch it. And I want you to make sure that when you watch it with no distractions. Because I want you to understand, we always talk about our freedom. We always talk about the amendments. We always talk about this stuff. But think about what it says, the 13th Amendment. When you amend something, you do what? You change it. You put a little something in that you probably didn't put it in the beginning because you think it didn't matter. I want you to go and check it out. If you don't do nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, go check. It's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. I think it's on Hulu. I think it's on Amazon. I think, yeah, pretty much everywhere. Right? Ava DuVernay. Go check it out. And then if you want to talk about it, let me know and come on to the show. Come on to the show and let's talk about it. Amen, Tana. That's why prisons were built. That's exactly why. Exactly why. I can't legally hold you as a slave anymore, but I can incarcerate you and still treat you as a slave. And when I incarcerate you, you have no say so. That's why most people that were being incarcerated, most Black people got a sentence that was 5 to 10 times greater than their white counterparts. Remember how I want to say that it was a guy some time ago. I think he was in DC, I think. And he was a sniper, black guy, I think. And you remember how they hunted him down and shot him and killed him? But remember that guy, I'm not going to say his name. So don't tell me his name because I don't want to know his name. I know his name. I'm just not going to say it. He went up in that church and he shot 12 people, killed them. They took him to fast food restaurant with a bulletproof vest on. Tamir Rice was playing with a toy gun. Within 10 seconds, Tamir Rice was dead. A toy gun. He was dead. Trayvon Martin was walking home from the store, minding his own business, and this security guard, neighborhood security, not even a real cop, not even a real security guard, decides he wants to stop him and ask him what he's doing. And that young man lost his life because he was black. Everybody want to talk about Colin Kaepernick. Why did he stand for what he stood for? Colin was already standing for righteousness and right long before it happened. And when it happened, then everybody had to come back and tell him, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, please forgive me. But I'm so proud of Colin Kaepernick for saying, oh, no, I don't need you now, bro. You didn't want me then. Now you want to come back now and say, oh, but I wasn't a great football player. I wasn't a great quarterback. I couldn't do anything. But now all of a sudden you want me back? Yeah. That's not the business. You can silently protest and lose everything by silently protesting. But you can bum rush the Capitol and nothing happens to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all so much. Be on the lookout for us. We'll be back this Friday with our Fire Fridays, me and Ian. Come and check us out. Also, too, starting next week, there's going to be some changes, some things going on. I got some stuff coming up in the next couple of months. So, ladies and gentlemen, stick with me. So if you are able to hear me, see me, feel me, ladies and gentlemen, hit that thumbs up, hit that heart button, right? And then if you just want to just check me out, then go right on over to TitanCapri.com and see what's going on over there and let me know what you think. I do my own photography, so there is a section at Photogriffany store, and you can hover over it or click onto it, and I have everything in sections, like everything birds, everything clouds, everything that. Go over there and check it out. And if you want to bless a brother by getting you something to hang on your wall, then I say you go right ahead and you do that, and I would appreciate you for that. Remember that you can get t-shirts over there. You can get you cell phone cases. You can get you mugs. Look, you can get mugs. You can get all that kind of stuff over there at at TitanCapri.com. So go check it out. And if you don't do nothing else, go check out my HIV 101. I got a couple of interviews and all that good stuff. So take care. Peace and blessings to you. And until next time, remember, there was no other reason you were put on this earth other than to be a blessing and to be blessed. And if you're blessed, then you've already been a blessing. Peace and blessings.